It's your boy, Big Peach, and welcome back to another video. Now, today I have something kind of crappy to tell you about. It's really disgusting to me when people try and push their narrative on a natural disaster or something that's really wrong with the country. A few days ago, there was everything that's going on in Vegas. I might cover that. I don't know. I have some research to gather on that. But what I want to talk about today is away from Vegas. It's in New York. Today I found a sign. So this is not reported on yet, I suppose. And it has to do with October 7th. Apparently, it's going to happen on 34th and 6th Avenue. 34th Street and 6th Avenue. And it's supposed to be a war against racism. The worst part is that they're using everything that's going on in Puerto Rico as like a big umbrella to say all of this other crap that they have as a narrative. They're trying to use a natural disaster to their advantage for some reason. So they're going to try and lure in Puerto Ricans. What they don't understand, and I'm saying this as a Puerto Rican, because I'm like 75% Puerto Rican, Puerto Ricans don't care about this racial bullshit. Puerto Rico is Puerto Rico because people live the way they want there. They get the land they want, they build the house they want, they have the job they want. There's none of this bullshit that BLM is trying to push. And I know it's BLM because, first of all, the article says that it is racist. It is a racist crime against against Puerto Ricans. That 80% of Puerto Rico is without electricity, and 50% are without portable water. Now, I don't think you understand this, but Puerto Rico isn't exactly a city. It has cities. That's probably the cities are probably the areas with electricity, but most of it's just green and farmland and landscape. There usually isn't electricity there to begin with. The main grid is out. America is currently working on getting the main grid back up. And as for 50% without portable water, again, it's usually just mostly farmland. The 50% without water are the 50% that usually don't have water. They usually store their own water, and you get it from the store every now and then, like on dry seasons. I'm pretty sure they have enough water. They got hit by a fucking hurricane. Demand immediate delivery of generators, fuel, water filtration, food, and prefab housing. Prefab housing? Are they talking about like tents and shit? This is basic equipment. This basic equipment is stockpiled for every U.S. war, but it is inaccessible when millions of people desperately need it. Cancel the debt. Open the warehouses. These people are fucking communists, man. They don't understand that we have these things in case of emergency. Puerto Rico, while it is U.S. sovereignty, it is its own nation. We provide relief for it out of the kindness of our hearts. We help it, but we don't go into our national banks and just oh, you lost your toy, kid? Oh, let me just reach into my wallet and give you a 20. You go get a new one. That's not what we do. And you have to understand that Puerto Rico is basically self-sufficient. It's a little fucked up right now because a very strong hurricane fucked up the houses, power generators, and, probably took a couple people along with it, and I'm very sorry. I know a lot of my family over there is having a hard time right now, but they're not bitching about it. They're not asking for relief and all this shit. They're fixing up their houses, or they're planning to stay over here in America with relatives. That's what they're planning to do. They're not asking for handouts. Puerto Ricans are proud people. They don't need this type of bullshit that you're trying. They're not going to cooperate with this dumbass narrative you're trying to push, where you're asking for handouts and blaming the government and then trying to use it as a, oh, white people are racist. And again, I know it's that because over here it says, a united effort supporting the demands of whoever the fuck wrote this article. But I know for a fact it's BLM because it's like, no racism and white supremacy, Black Lives Matter. What does this have to do with Black Lives Matter? This is fucking Puerto Rico. There are black people in Puerto Rico, but I assure you, they don't give a shit about your shitty organization. Stop attacks on migrants, refugees, and Muslims. Bring troops home and close the bases. They want us to close the bases in other countries. They're out of their fucking minds. Like, do you honestly think... Have you seen what's been going on with North Korea? Do you really think if we, like, pulled out of fucking South Korea and closed the bases, like, right now, like... North Korea isn't gonna start rubbing their grubby little hands together and go, ooh, you look at this. I have a new nuclear weapon. Ooh, will you look at this? America is pulling out of our area. Looks like we can just nuke Japan again. Or nuke South Korea and then move in and take over. Because we're kind of assholes. Just so you know, that's why they built nukes. Because they want more shit. That's why they built the nukes. They don't want to get the shit themselves. So they built the nukes to either force people to give it to them or force the people of their country to start doing shit. You understand? If you don't, then you're ignoring it and you're retarded. End the sanctions and threats? The fuck you talking about? The only sanctions and... There's no sanctions and threats. There's sanctions and threats against idiocracy in this country. Jobs, education, and healthcare. Not endless war. Okay, obviously these people are anti-Trump because they don't realize that's the main focus point of, like, his whole fucking campaign. Jobs, education, and healthcare. Healthcare has been shit for the past couple years. Education... Well, I went to a public high school, and let me tell you, that shit's garbage. Over the past couple years, they're trying to improve it, but at the same time, they're forcing more education on younger children, which basically means that they're trying to make children who can't comprehend certain things learn at a higher level. So they're trying to improve education right now as we speak. As for jobs, they're trying to bring outsourced jobs that are usually done in China or other places that are done at lower prices relatively free. They're trying to bring them back into America. Even though it won't be as cheap for the industry itself, it'll be better for Americans because people will have jobs and better pay. And as for endless war, America is like the big brother of the world. Or, I don't want to say big brother because we're literally one of the youngest countries, but we try to look out for everybody. If someone's being an asshole, we try to stop those assholes before they get too powerful. So, you know, they don't end up like Hitler. People don't really see the bigger picture and just paint us as a big evil. America isn't gonna fucking become Hitler because we want freedom and no oppression for other countries and people. But these people living in our country say we're oppressive and evil. It's not the case. We're trying to stop that. We're trying to help the world, not hurt it. And if you bring people that have been, like, just protecting all these countries and all these people who would be up shit's creek without a paddle otherwise, you're gonna leave them there. You can't just bring it all in. That's not how it works. And until you understand that, until you understand how war works, you're not gonna be able to help anybody. Finally, the last point I want to talk about is November 5th. On November 5th, Antifa is plotting to organize a U.S.-wide get-together. So, by U.S.-wide, I'm pretty sure they just mean the handful of countries they have a large gathering at. So I'm going to say New York, Manhattan, Chicago, over in New Hampshire. And they're going to keep having these damn rallies, and they want to do it all at once so no one has time to respond. Now, what I'm about to say is pretty heavy, so if you came here for jokes, I'm sorry, this video is going to be a little more serious. I am a native of New York, and I don't like these people. Whenever they do something, and they say it's for the better good, I just see a bunch of people wiling out. I live in a mostly black community, and they don't want anything to do with this, okay? They see this shit and they're like, why are these... They're making us look bad. Because they are. They're making the black community look bad. And they're trying to represent the majority of the black community. They're trying to represent what's morally right. Meanwhile, they go around assaulting people and fucking up the entire city. And I know they fuck up the entire city because they say that they're just going to have a rally or a march. And there's plenty of rallies and marches in New York all the time. I see them every day. They're nice, they're peaceful, they usually do some chanting to get some people into their following or movement, and then they disperse and they go home, and hopefully that makes an effect on what they were rallying for. It depends the point you're rallying for. The thing about Black Lives Matter and all this other bullshit with Antifa is that they don't have one point. They have 100 different shitty points that have been disproven or proved to be bullshit. And they refuse to accept that. So their retaliation is by just going and having quote-unquote rallies and assaulting people, assaulting property, assaulting businesses, assaulting private property, assaulting private businesses. So it's like one thing if you break a window in a Starbucks, yeah, that's fucking a dick thing to do and meaningless as hell because Starbucks is rich as shit and can just replace it, but they'll assault private mom and pop shops, things that are, you know, there's only a couple hundred of them here in New York because they don't usually survive here because the rent is so high, and in order to meet that rent you need to have a lot of business. So you want to know what happens when these dick people come and destroy those poor mom and pop shops? They either get shut down or their poor owner gets put into debt. Because they have to fucking replace the window and probably replace whatever is taken or stolen or destroyed when these assholes riot in the streets. I don't know how many of you are going to watch this, and I don't know how many of you are natives to New York. But if you're a native to New York, I am asking you, please, on November 5th, I want people to meet up at Union Square. You know, that's like by 13th and I'm gonna say 5th. It's near the train station. You can't really miss it. And I want people to meet up here, and I want us to be dressed in white, not like, you know, too much. Just like enough so if anything goes south, you can obviously tell apart the people in pure black from the people in white. I don't want you guys to bring weapons. I just want you to bring, like, milk in case of mace and maybe a couple handmade riot shields. And I just want a small gathering of people so we can protect the people that may get hurt. I don't want businesses to be destroyed. I don't want people to be hurt. I don't want officers to be assaulted because they can't retaliate because, God forbid, they retaliate or use their weapon, and some dumb idiot who thinks he's fighting in this stupid-ass, non-existent revolution gets shot and killed. This poor officer is gonna get so chewed out, probably fired, or they're gonna use this guy that got shot as a martyr, even though he does not deserve it, because they're probably just gonna be assholes. This has happened time and time again. I am tired of seeing my city destroyed, and I'm tired of seeing people get hurt for no reason. I'm not asking this as a person who is against free speech. I'm just asking this as a person who doesn't want people to get hurt. Wear white, bring a helmet, bring milk in case of mace, and bring riot shields in case people try and assault people with weapons. Because from what I've seen in the videos that have been leaked by Louder with Crowder, like, they're planning on using weapons to hurt people, to injure people. People of my city who have done nothing wrong, or just here trying to live their life just like everybody else. They're going to get assaulted by these people who don't have nothing better to do, or have this ideology in their head that they're doing the right thing even though they're hurting everybody and doing the absolute wrongest thing you could do. Sorry, I'm getting a little red in the face here. I'm tired of people getting hurt, and I'm tired of my city being destroyed. If you're near New York or a native to New York, please on November 5th. Meet at Union Square. Please meet at Union Square at 12 p.m. on November 5th. Dressed in mostly white. Bring milk, bring helmets, bring riot shields. And I just want everyone to not assault anyone. If you see these people doing something wrong, I ask you to just use non-violent methods of, like, disarming them. Meaning pushing them off of people, but not punching them. Because that's what they want. They want you to hurt them so they can become a martyr. They want police to shoot them so they can become a martyr. And they want to be labeled as these big heroes that are getting hurt or killed for, you know, the cause. There is no cause. They have no cause. It's all bullshit. They want handouts. They want a socialist, communist society. They want silencing of free speech. Also, chances are they're probably gonna go up 5th and probably try and break into Trump Tower. I'd rather hold a peaceful protest where we just make sure everyone's okay in the meantime. I'd rather. So 12 p.m. Union Square, November 5th. We're gonna walk from there up to Trump Tower and make sure that no one gets hurt. You can bring signs, but, you know, don't make them, like, provocative. Make them, like, we're here to make sure no one gets hurt. Because that's what I want this meeting to be about. We're here to make sure nobody gets hurt. Because I care about the people of my city, and I care about the people who would participate in this protest. I've been Peachy Politics, and thank you for listening. Hey everybody, it's Peachy from the future. I just wanted to say a couple things. First off, it's going to be November 4th. I said 5th a bunch, and I'm sorry about that. I was just very heated, and I went off on a little bit of a tangent. I'm very sorry about that. Also, the cross street for Union Square that I'd like to meet up at is 14th and Park Avenue. That's the front where the steps are. That's usually where people protest and stuff. That would be the best location to meet up since it's wide and whatever. I did some more research while in the middle of editing just to make sure everything I was saying was proper, and it's worse than I imagined because they're planning on using guns and assaulting people to, and I quote, bring America to her knees and force her to follow their demands. This is fucking disgusting. This is genuinely upsetting and just disgusting. Like, these people are Americans or claim to be Americans, and this is their ideology. It's disgusting. I'm just so angry about this, but I would really like some support from people who are native to this state, and I would really like people to help me on November 4th, 12 p.m. on 14th Street and Park Avenue. Thank you for your viewership, and I hope I can see some of you out there. I'm also going to leave the source for the video claiming everything about Antifa assaulting people and everything on November 4th in the description. It's really sad to see.